Today's guest went to state with the Our Redeemers Knights in 2 sports. Joining me now, it's Lauren Hendrickson from Our Redeemers. Glory years, a couple years back for you already, Lauren. Wanted to talk about, first, you had to be on after Matt and Zach came on, right?
Yes.
Absolutely. So, what do you kind of remember the most out of playing volleyball on a team that always went to state, and then even the basketball team went to state when you were there?
Right. I just remember making some great relationships with my friends throughout those years. I think it was 5 years we went to state total. And so, you just make memories that I still remember to this day. And it's not even about the winning. It's about the relationships that you made. So that's what I remember most.
I called up with you right before we started recording about when the basketball state tournament run is. I had another question for you that I wanted to ask on the recording here. Was the Lauren Hendrickson era, did you have the privilege of having Jake Stack around to, embarrass him a little bit, or was he still in Kenmare by the time you graduated?
Yeah, he actually was in Kenmare still when I graduated. So he was never AD when I had my era, if you want to call it that.
Yeah, I guess we can just call it that. Yeah.
Yeah, but I have been able to spend time with him now that I do clock for the boys' games. That's been when I was in college, though. So, unfortunately, no, I never got to embarrass him. But
is that your biggest regret that couldn't happen during your Knights career?
I don't know. My brother's probably got plenty of embarrassment, though, from him. So, I don't know. Maybe they did that for me. So.
Are you taller than him? Because the scorer's bench, it looks pretty symmetrical. You guys look about the same.
I don't know. I'm 5'1", so if we want to say Jake's 5'1", I guess we could.
Yeah, Team 5'1", fantastic.
It could be close.
You take a lot of pride in that? You had the great sports career even though you were 5'1", or what?
I've always kind of just forgot about how tall I was. I've always said that it really doesn't matter how tall you are. And, people made a big deal out of it, that I was short and whatnot. So it was always fun joking around about it. But
that had to be
it never stopped me from trying to work hard. So
could that have been better for the volleyball defense?
I think so. I think maybe it helped me establish my role easier because I was short, so it's not like I'm going to be a middle hitter or blocker. So it helped me, get in my head that this is what you're going to do, and if you want to be successful, you need to work hard at this. So I guess you could say that being short, that helped.
So how come the Knights have still been able to go to the state championships even after you're gone?
I think it all comes down to working hard all year round. I know they go to camps, at least 2 camps every summer, and they have open gyms. It kind of is hard to put into words why the success has been, going on for so long, but it just comes down to working hard and, not giving up at when it matters, when it counts. And if you work hard in the off season, it does pay off in the end. So, I think that is one reason. And another reason is having consistent coaching throughout what has it been 7 years now since that's been going to state 7 years in a row. And, the same coach and being consistent in how they, practice and all those games. I think that also has something to do with the success over the years as well.
This will be the last time that I try this Our Redeemers question. Did Karen Nunziato ever get rage mad, breaking clipboards or anything?
She never broke any clipboards. I don't remember that. I don't even think she ever had clipboards, if I remember correctly. She did get mad on occasion. I do remember one time, I will never be able to forget this, the most mad that I ever saw her get. It was one of our state tournaments, a very important game, And, she obviously never swore or anything, but she one time told us to put some piss and vinegar into our game, into our, personality or whatever. And that was the maddest I ever remember her getting. And I loved it, so.
Oh, man, these Christian school coaches. Unbelievable.
Yeah, I could not believe she said that. I was like, oh my gosh. I'm just kidding.
Well, did it motivate you, or did it just come across weird?
No, it motivated me, for sure. I was like, oh my gosh, did she really just say that? But it was great.
It wasn't.
And it did motivate us.
It wasn't like the Jameis Winston eating the W or like the Andy Dalton playmakers.
Right.
It just fell completely flat. Well, that's good to know. She knows how to pick her rare spots, I guess.
Yeah, definitely.
Couple questions on the Our Redeemers players that you got to play with. Morgan Olson, Tessa Olson, friends of the show. They're about to be on it later on.
Right.
Who's the better one?
Who's the better one? Ooh. I think, it's hard to compare. Obviously, they're both my good friends. I get to go to Tessa's wedding in a couple weeks here, so I'm pretty excited about that. I think we can't compare who's the better one. It's not very fair. But we can compare, like, Morgan had completely different skills than Tessa. Morgan was an offensive player more. She scored points and had many, many assists. Tessa, great defensive form, very aggressive. I think Tessa has a more unforgettable personality on the court, and Morgan obviously, did so much for the team when she played. So it's hard to compare because they're both my good friends. So I'll just stick with that.
So you would have an easier time choosing between Eden and Elsa then?
I mean, I love Elsa. Everybody who knows me knows I love Elsa. Her personality is hilarious. She obviously hasn't played varsity yet. She's still, is she, a freshman this year? I think she's a freshman this year. So, she's just getting started. Eden obviously has been doing a great job as setter for our Redeemers. So, I would say I relate the most to Elsa because we have similar personalities. So, I'll just say that.
Am I forgetting any of them or no?
Nope, you didn't forget.
All right, good. You said it was kind of hard to compare Tessa and Morgan. I think it's easier probably for you personally to make this comparison. Who's the best Hendrickson?
That is a great question. Well, I'm the best girl Hendrickson because I'm the only one, of my siblings. Between Matt and Zach, Matt never really got that much attention, if we want to say that, with the news and whatnot. But he was a great teammate when he played, and I think he set a great example for a lot of kids that he played with. With Zach, he has had a lot of attention, with sports. He plays football, basketball, and golf. And, he's great at all of them. So I can't say who's the best because I love them both equally. But
I feel like I talked to Matt like tons of times though, and I couldn't really bring up fishing or anything or hunting or whatever he does.
Right. Yes, Matthew definitely is the outdoorsy guy. He loves hunting and fishing, and Zach's into sports more now. Obviously, he's still in high school still, so. Yeah.
I expected you to be like way less nice about that question, but that's cool. Very good.
They're gonna probably listen, so I don't want to hurt their feelings too bad.
Yeah, but forget Jake Stack. I mean, we can hurt him plenty of times.
Yes, exactly.
All right. So, all you guys have had great careers within this area in Region 6. So tell me, you mentioned like the camps going on with volleyball. I mean, the time that it takes to be good in this area. I mean, what does it take for you guys?
It does take a lot of work. But if it's fun for you, it doesn't feel like, too much work. But I do think success depends upon how much work you're willing to put in during the season and during the off season as well, because you're not going to get better if you don't work on it all the time. And it also helps to have family that, is competitive in everything they do. And so I think that also played a role in my life and my brother's lives. We've always had a very competitive family, and I do think that helped me a lot throughout my high school times.
Who else besides maybe the Olsons were like the great players that you got a chance to be alongside?
I got to play with very, very many skilled players. There's a lot of names that come to mind. So my 8th grade year definitely was the year that, inspired me that I wanted to work hard and become good. I got to watch Ashley Coppinger, Emily Van Lith, Whitney Fuger, those 3, and then, there were more in that class as well. But that was definitely the year that started out my inspiration, I guess, to play volleyball. They made it to state that year, and I believe we took 5th that year. So that was the first year I got to go to state, was my 8th grade year. Then there was Gabby Beckel. She inspired me because she, got to play all the way around, hitter and defense. I took a lot of advice from her and watched her play, so that was fun. And then, going into my sophomore, junior, senior years, obviously I got to play all those years with Morgan, and we formed a great bond over those years playing sports. Got to play back row with Tessa a lot, and Riley Poppinga. She was awesome to play with. A couple more in my class, Michaela Gartner, Abby Coppinger, to name a few. There were many, many others, though. So, everyone I got to play with had their different skills and assets that they brought to the team. So.
You guys had a lot of success, but you never took yourselves too seriously, did you?
No, definitely not. You can't. If you go out there thinking you're the best and everybody else is below you, then nobody is going to appreciate that. And we knew that, definitely we knew that. So, we were always joking around, messing around on the court. We took it very seriously, the games. Most of us were very competitive, so it wasn't like we were just messing around, but we knew how to stay lighthearted at the same time as being very serious with our game. So.
All right, so the post-grad glory that's come up for you, what on earth were you thinking skydiving in Arizona?
So, I didn't really sign myself up for it. My mom has always been, someone that makes everybody get out of their comfort zone. And so one day she told us, hey, would you guys like to go skydiving maybe when we go to Arizona? And we're like, oh, that sounds crazy. And so she signed us all up, and I do not regret it one bit. It was very fun. But yes, it was very crazy.
Why is that out there and not around here? I never heard of it around here.
What was it?
Like skydiving. It's not around here, is it?
Oh, I don't think so. I think it's too cold here.
Even in the summertime, yeah.
I think if you jumped out of the plane here, you would probably just become an ice crystal, and that would be the end of it.
Yeah, imagine that. Actually, maybe dying from skydiving. I could never see that coming.
Yeah.
All right, so when you're finally safely on the ground, did you see Logan's proposal coming at all?
Okay, so I thought maybe that it would be coming that day, but I wasn't thinking about it because I just got off. I just jumped out of a plane and landed, and so I kind of forgot that I thought it might happen that day. So I was very surprised.
That's awesome, yeah, because more than one kind of leap, I guess, taken that day. That's for sure.
Yeah, exactly.
Mm-hmm. One more question on that was: did you ever see the Impractical Joker's punishment when they made Murray jump out of the plane and he was freaking out? Were you like that, or were you ready to go for this?
I definitely wasn't panicking. I was definitely nervous, for sure. But when I'm nervous, I'm really quiet and, just kind of taking everything in. So I do have a picture of my face right before I jumped out. And, if you could look at my face, it would say, what am I about to do? But I definitely don't regret it at all.
All right, so you're going to Tessa's wedding soon, and you got to plan your own now. It's going to be crazy exciting. How much do you let Logan do it, though?
I mean, I'll let him do as much as he wants. I don't foresee him jumping at the at the reins to plan much, but I like to get his input, what he thinks looks good, and all that good stuff. But I'll just take whatever I can get with his help.
Yeah, because I saw like people were putting like PS5s on their wedding registry, or like, what does he want, some hunting gear or what?
I don't really know what he's gonna want. He likes Pampered Chef, so we'll see. Maybe we'll get some Pampered Chef. He really likes working on farm equipment, pickups, cars. Mm-hmm. So maybe a few tools of that nature, but we'll see what happens.
What about like a big deer freezer?
Oh my gosh. Yeah, I don't think that's his.
Oh, really? All right.
No, he doesn't like hunting very much.
Oh, he's just a bad.
That's okay with me, though.
Just a horrible shot, or what?
Yeah.
Okay.
Worse than me, for sure.
You got obviously a lot of wedding planning to do right now, but have you even thought further ahead of like how you're going to deflect people asking about when the grandkids are coming?
I'm excited to have kids one day. I definitely want to, get a good job before that all happens. Be married for a few years, probably. How am I going to deflect that? That is a great question. Probably just say, you'll see when it comes.
yeah. Just get back to me on that one. I only wanted it for a proper segue of what you're up to now and what you're trying to get into educationally. How on earth are you keeping track of all these kids at Magic City Daycare? I couldn't imagine like being a PE teacher and these kids. I mean, you got to worry about they're eating the wrong thing, like Play-Doh in the corner or whatever.
Right. That can be very stressful. Yeah, I work at Magic City Daycare. I want to be a teacher one day, so I thought, what's the best job for that? And working at a daycare is getting me a lot of practice with working with kids one day. It is stressful sometimes trying to keep track of the kids. Usually there's about 10 to 12 kids in your room at one time. So, yeah, it can be pretty stressful. Many different personalities and needs in one room, and it's all on you to make sure that everybody's happy and, obviously being safe. So there's been moments where you look around and you're supposed to have 10 kids and there's only 9, but you get it figured out, you find that other kid, and then everything's okay.
How many times do you just like count everybody?
Oh my gosh. Like definitely every 10 minutes at least. Mm-hmm. Especially before you're going to leave the room and, like, before you go to a new room or something like that, you always make sure you have everybody. The most stressful times of counting the children are when you're outside, mm-hmm. because we just have a fenced-in area and we're right on University Avenue, busy street. So that is definitely, like, torture, taking them outside and then going back in. You count them every minute, for sure. It's just crazy.
Yeah, it's a prime spot. Fantastic.
Yeah, I know. It's great.
So when you get through MSU, how do you kind of plan to look for work after that? Are you doing like a broad like Class B search, or what are your plans after that?
I definitely want to stay like in the area. Obviously, I'm pretty open to jobs anywhere around Minot or the surrounding areas. Minot Public is a great program. But, I'm open to Class B, Class A. Anything I can get for the first year will be awesome. So I just plan to keep my options open.
Anywhere that you definitely wouldn't go just for a headline?
I mean, I would go anywhere, really. Like, I don't have any ill will towards any schools around the area. So.
All right, that's good. We got to ask both sides here.
Yeah.
What teachers had a real big impact on you growing up and to ultimately maybe influence you to do this, or why pick this in general?
That is a great question. I've been really lucky, having great teachers, ever since I was in kindergarten, because I went to Redeemer since I was preschool to senior. So, Mrs. Knutson was one of my preschool or kindergarten teachers. Maybe, I can't remember, it's been so long now, but, I was very lucky starting out with that. Very great examples. They all had great ideas, and I don't know. I never really wanted to be a teacher until I, like my junior year, I decided. But I've always loved kids.
Mm-hmm.
Even back in my day, and my family can attest to this, I've always been what they call bossy and, like to tell people what to do. And so, it's definitely been in my blood since I was, in kindergarten. But yeah, I had many other great teachers, Mr. May and Mrs. Gade in high school. I always had the same teachers in high school. It never changed. We never got like a whole new group of teachers. So I was lucky with that because I got to learn a lot about them, and see what I want to mirror when I'm a teacher one day, and maybe, different things I could change. So.
Oh, yeah, so you're bossy. I couldn't imagine that.
I know. I just tell people that and they're shocked. It's crazy.
All right. So, also, one more takeaway on that. Like, you weren't in kindergarten that long ago. I was in kindergarten, like, 97 to 98.
That 98 may or may not have been the year I was born. So I was in kindergarten a little bit after that. But, now that I look back, it's like, holy cow, how did that go so fast? And now it's already, what, I don't know, 15 years ago?
Yep.
15 years ago?
What about this? When you get to teaching, do you expect to coach any sports, given that you played a lot of sports?
I would love to coach sports one day. I've actually been coaching volleyball at Ramstead Middle School since I was a freshman in college, 8th grade volleyball. So, I have some experience with coaching now under my belt, and I absolutely love it. I definitely would love to coach one day. I probably wouldn't want to coach basketball because I just never have before, but definitely would coach volleyball, 100%.
Besides upsetting Kara Nunziato and making her feel old by this, what would it be like coaching against her maybe in the future?
That would be really awesome to do. I think, it would make her probably feel a little old, but I think it would be really fun, just for her to see, like, she really did have an impact on the people that she coached and, made them. I mean, I take a lot of my drills I do in practices from what we did in high school. So I think it would be really cool and full circle for her to see that all happen. Maybe.
Yeah, that would. I think that'd be a lot of fun. Maybe you guys would give them a run before the inevitable 3-0 our Redeemers victory.
Hey, now, that would be really cool, though. Honestly, it would be cool.
Happens all the time. Well, hey, Lauren, this has been fantastic catching up with you. I know it's been a little bit since you were playing, and I was talking to you for the news, like, literally all the time. Just
Right.
appreciate you taking the time out, and we'll see you around the Knights gym, okay?
Okay, well, thank you so much for your time as well. It's been really fun reliving old memories.
All right, awesome. That's Lauren Hendrickson. We'll say it's been long enough. Our Redeemers two-sport legend. There you go. Thanks, Lauren.
Oh, thank you so much.